Welcome back to Between Two FARS. I'm Warnicki Miller, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Jerry Seeman today. He is the Assistant Chief Counsel for Contracts at Marshall Space Flight Center. With over 30 years of experience at NASA and experience in the Department of Defense, he has got a wealth of information, both from the contract law perspective and the patent law perspective. He even spent time managing a NASA tech transfer office. So we're really very honored to have him here to help us understand the importance of data rights at contract formation. We left off last time talking about just the important considerations we as contract attorneys and contract officers need to keep in mind at contract formation. Good morning, Jerry. How are you today?
Good morning. Nice to be back.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the things we need to be thinking about at contract formation?
Sure. You remember from last time that I indicated that we could form this partnership between patent attorneys, procurement attorneys, and contracting officers by just remembering a few simple questions. And so I guess this morning what I'd like to do is give you two of those questions in the contract formation stage that I think would probably resolve. If we can ask those questions and provide answers to them, it would go a long way toward resolving all the data rights problems that can occur in a contract.
Well, hey, that sounds great. Give us the secret questions.
Okay. Well, the first question I think is important to ask is if the contractor will need to use its secrets to perform the contract, will the government need delivery of the contractor's secrets? Okay, now, normally when we set up a solicitation, we include a contract clause in there. It's 52-227-15. And that solicitation provision requires the contractor to identify the secrets they intend to use in performance of the contract. So we're going to have some knowledge about what those secrets are about. And so to the extent we need to have delivery of those secrets, we need to make sure that the contract is set up to allow the delivery of those secrets, because normally the normal situation is that a contractor is entitled to withhold their secrets. So unless we set those contracts up to require the contractor to deliver those secrets, we'll never get them. And so
this is something you need to understand at contract formation, because realizing it during contract administration, that's going to be a difficult negotiation, trying to bilaterally incorporate this in the midst of the contract's performance, right?
You're exactly right. And when you do things during contract performance, what does that do to the price? Yeah, we're in for an equitable adjustment that may not have been necessary. So,
yes.
So that's the first question. I think that procurement attorneys and contracting officers should ask. Is again, if they're going to have to use secrets, and we need to be able to see those secrets, we need to make sure that the contract is set up to require the delivery of those secrets.
Excellent.
So the next question, the second question I think is important to ask is, if the delivery of the secrets is needed, for what purposes does the government need to use and disclose the contractor's secrets? Okay, so this goes back to, okay, now we're getting the secrets in our hands. How do we need to use them? And typically, what we want to be able to do with those secrets, we work very closely with our support service contractors. Well, our support service contractors are not part of the government. If we have to share those secrets with them, that's a disclosure outside of the government. So we want to get permission to do that. There may be a need to disclose these secrets to a non-government evaluator. There may be a need to disclose these secrets to other contractors working on the same program or project, because all of the parts and pieces are integrated together. So those are the examples of the kinds of uses that we may need. And those different uses, those purposes are what we call our limited rights.
Oh, yes, the limited rights data you were talking about in the last episode.
that's where the term limited rights data come from, and because there are rights that are associated with that data. And so it's important that we not only identify what those limited rights are, but we identify those in the contract. Because again, I think as you probably have already realized, if we fail to negotiate some specific rights that we need, we find ourselves negotiating with a contractor in a non-competitive situation, which never comes out very good for the government.
No, we don't have a whole lot of leverage there, do we?
Not in, but in the formation stage, we're usually in a competitive environment, and it's much easier because normally we're the ones that are writing the solicitation. We're the ones that are writing the contract, and so it's a lot easier to handle it at that phase than it is during contract administration. But I will say this: I have seen, it's not uncommon that we find ourselves needing a contractor's secrets, and we can't get them because the contractor doesn't allow for it.
Oh, well, and maybe we should talk about that in the next episode. This has been so informative. When you're in your contract formation stage, you need to know what secrets you need and why you need them so that you can write your contract in a way that keeps the government protected while keeping the price as low as possible. Delaying on these answers is likely going to, as Jerry was saying, require a bilateral contract agreement and an equitable adjustment that's going to increase your prices, and nobody wants that. However, I think there are some unique issues that do come up during contract administration. Would you mind coming back for another episode and talking to us a little bit about what sort of questions we need to be asking ourselves during contract administration? Sure,
but one more point before we leave this topic that I think is very, very important. And that is, it's important where these limited rights are specified is in the limited rights notice. It's a fill-in in the contract. And it's not, I have seen it where we've set the contract up to receive these secrets, but we forget to fill in the blanks. So that's a very important part of contract formation. I actually have seen contracts where we have all the right stuff in there, but we don't have our blanks filled in. So don't forget to fill in the blanks, because that's where our limited rights are located.
I completely agree. I've seen some blanks in my career as well, and they're never good. So remember to fill in those blanks and join us again next time between two FARS.